Welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashwin. Today we are discussing with what are Java 1.8 new features. Yeah, Java is a programming language, so it updates every 6 months under Java corporate, Java software under Oracle corporate. So there are some new features in Java 1.8 and Java 11 and Java 17 and Java 19. For every 6 months, Oracle Corporation gives and launches new Java versions. For that, Java 1.8 is a big release in Java, which changes the way of programming in Java. So it is a big and very important feature for a Java developer to know. For that, I'm going to teach you what are the Java new 1.8 features and what are the previous features. Welcome back to Ashwin. Learn today, live more. Please like, share, and subscribe. For more videos related to these topics, please share to your friends, family, and others, and please support me. Let's okay, go to a topic. Java 1.8 features. Java has also a previous versions for Java launched in Java 1.0. In Java 1.0, they are introduced a vector stack. All those are legacy classes. They are introduced in Java 1.0. Later, Java next version Java 1.1. Later, Java 1.2. In this Java 1.2 version, they are introduced collections framework. Collection framework means they are introduced a collections interface. For that implementation, they are implementing collection interface list stack list queue set. All these interfaces implementing collections interface. For list, they are introduced array list, linked list, vector, stack. For set, they are introduced hash set, linked hash set, tree set. For queues, they are introduced chaotic queue, array queue. This is a big group. This is one of the big. This is one of the big release in Java. Later, Java 1.5 LTS. This is also a big release in Java because in this version they are introduced generics, enums, for each loop, and they are implementing auto boxing and auto unboxing. In previous, these auto boxing and auto unboxing are manually configured, but in Java 1.5 they are it make it automatically auto boxing and auto unboxing. Later, they are also introduced bar arcs. That means three dots. Three dots are ellipses, and they are introduced for static import, and they are also introduced annotations. So Java 1.5 is also one of the big release in Java. Later, another big release in Java is Java 1.8. It was a big release in Java. That means they are introduced in functional programming. That means from Java 1.8 versions, it changed the way of pro- Java programming style. After that, currently they released Java 11, Java 17, Java 19, and so on. Java 19, and so on. So what are the Java 1.8 features? Version features. The main objective remove check crews for releasing Java 1.8 version is to simplify the Java program and enable functional programming in Java and to write more readable and concise code. From Java 8 onwards, a lot of new features introduced in Java. The Java 1.8 features changed the way of Java programming style. So, what are the new features in Java 1.8? They introduced the first one, interface changes. From Java 1.8 onwards, they introduced default methods static methods, and second feature is functional interfaces. What are the functional interfaces and shortening spelling. By representing what is functional interfaces, we are giving the annotation at the rate of functional interface. In this, they are introduced predefined functional interfaces like predicate and by predicate, confined to supply, consumer, and by con, con, fun- functional. Sorry. Function by function. All these functional interfaces are available in java.util.function package. So these functional interfaces are mainly introduced to call Lambda functions in our program. So these functional interfaces and what is functional interfaces, we will discuss in upcoming section. Then they are introduced Lambda function, Lambda expressions, and Stream API. Without asking a single question in Lambda expressions or Stream API, your Java interview will not complete. So Lambda expressions and Stream API are very, very, very important topics in Java 1.8 features because all the programming style will change only with the Lambda expressions and Stream API. We will discuss these concepts in upcoming sessions, and they are included method references and constructor references, and they are introduced optional classes. What is optional class? To avoid null pointer exception, Java 1.8 introduced optional classes, and they are introduced a special iterator, speed iterator, and they are introduced string joiner, and they are introduced for each method. This is not tell you this for each method it was it is a default method in iterable interface. We will discuss it later. What is for each method, what is default and static methods, and they are also introduced. And they are all they are also there. changes some date and time APIs, and they are also introduced Nastron, sorry, Nastron engine, and they are introduced BS64 encoding and decoding, and there are also some changes in input and output operations, IOD operations, stream changes, file start, lines, path speed. Yeah, firstly we discuss what are changes in interfaces. Interface changes. No, first of all, what is an interface? Interface means collection of abstract methods up to 1.7 version will be from 1.8 version. Interfaces can have both concrete and abstract methods. From Java 8 onwards, interfaces can have both concrete and abstract methods. Concrete method means a method with body, and abstract means a method without body. Why Oracle changes interface type? Because if we if a developer wants to create a new feature or new method in the interface, all the interface implementing classes also override those methods in classes. So it's a lot when one interface can implementing classes only one or two, it's easy. But when one interface contains a 10 or 20 implementing classes, it's a lot of time taking method. And also all those 10 or 20 classes don't need that method. But also by using abstract methods, we need to override all the methods in interface implementing classes. So it is a drawback. So to avoid that drawback, from Java 1.8 they are introduced abstract and concrete methods both are available in interfaces. What is abstract method? A method without body. That means it contains only method name only. For body, we are overriding that method in our interface implementing classes. So abstract methods does not contain body. But from Java 8 onwards, they are introduced default and static methods in the interface. By using default, we can create concrete methods. What is concrete method? A method which contains a body or logic. So by using default and static keywords, we can create a concrete method in interfaces. They are introduced default and static methods. By using these default and static methods, we can create concrete methods in Java interfaces. So it is simple and easy and does not need every class should override interface methods. So it creates a advantage. Uh, example for default default or static method is for each method. It was in iterable interface. From iterable interface only collections in framework or collections interfaces extending the properties from iterable interfaces only. From collections interface are there are there list, queue, and set interfaces are extending properties from collections. From these three collections, list, set, and queue, there are some implementing classes like for list, array list, linked list, vector, stack, and for set, hash set, linked hash set, reset, for queue, priority queue, array queue. So if one change happen in iterable, or when we introduce one abstract method in iterable, all those implementing classes in list interface, in set interface, in uh, queue interface, all those implementing classes should override for each method. So when we introduced one abstract method, so it a lot of changes happens in all the implementing classes. So it takes so much time. For this, they are introduced default and static methods. So default method for each method is example for it. Yeah, if you can see an example with default keywords. By using default keyword, we can create concrete method in interfaces. These default methods can be overriding interface implementing classes. That means when we declare a method with the default keyword, if we don't want default interface default method logic, so then we can override those default methods in our implementing classes. So it is an advantage for overriding default methods. So let us see an example in IDE and in IDE. Here I am creating a package but we cannot Java. Here I am creating a class default demo. For this I'm creating an interface name. Let's take as demo. Um, I'm giving with name P2, serverless P2 P2. And in this, I'm creating a public abstract void start vehicle. Why I'm getting out of these? There is only one public keyword, one public interface, or one public class only. So I'm giving this public keyword. Here I am creating the abstract method as start vehicle. I'm implementing I'm implementing that interface. Here I am getting rid of there is a one abstract method, so I need to override it. I'm overriding the start taking method. Here I'm giving my own logic. Add it to start vehicle. Here what I'm doing is I'm create I'm creating interface and I'm creating abstract method. I'm overriding that abstract method in interface implementing class. So this is whole method. So this is a whole method. This type we are implementing our interface abstract methods in our implementing classes. Now let's see how to implement default or static methods. I'm creating the default method by using default keyword and represented void m1. So I'm creating the concrete method. Let's see here. I'm creating the concrete method in interface. And I'm also creating one static method by using static keyword. By giving this method as m2 name. So see here, static keyword also use it for conflict method creation in Express. Here, here see if I remove this override method, I'm getting another. What is another? This class should implement inherited abstract methods. What is that abstract method? Vehicle that start vehicle. So when we are implementing the interface, our class must be override abstract methods. If I remove abstract method, see I'm not getting error. So for this problem they introduce default and static methods. We need to face in main method I'm creating the method and I'm printing the statement. Here I'm giving statement as start type and I'm creating main method. In this main method, I want to call this instance method. For calling instance method, I'm creating class object. Here I'm creating object for our class. By using object reference variable, I'm starting this start method. Let's print it for level application. That's it. Here I started. I am calling instance method in our class. If I call obj dot this M1 method, I'm giving the statement interface default M1 method call. I'm saving it and run it. You see our interface default M1 method is called. And not override that method in our implementing interface implementing class. But by using default keyword, we can create complete methods with interface and we can directly call by that name. Here let's see static method also. I'm giving a brain reference statement. In this I'm saying that interface static M2 method call. In this abstract method, remove this overwriting method. I'm calling a really object reference with class object reference variable and I'm calling that method. Here what's another see when we get another because it is a static method. So Starting methods are always called by only interface name. That is an interface name vehicle. So there is removed. So static method always calls with only interface name, interface or method name. So like save it and run it. So our interface static something method is called. So see here, for default method, we are creating object for our implementing class. For the object reference variable, we are calling m1 method. For static method, when we call static method, we only call that interface name dot method name only. For starting methods, interface name dot method name only. This is a valid syntax. For calling static methods, interface interface name dot method name. Like for calling default methods, we are creating object for our implementing interface implementing class default demo. And that default demo object reference variable OBJ. I'm starting a default demo instance method, and later I'm calling default method from our interface m1 method. Later I'm calling static method from our interface. So let's see how to declare default method and static method in interface, and how to call default method, how to call default method, how to call static method in our implementing class. And let's see what are the default method in Java and Pandit. They are introducing for each method. For each method, let's go to here I'm coming to slide. I'm creating the array list for each method. Here I'm taking the array list. Here I'm giving integer. Here I am adding the field data 50 here data dot 20 plus various these array elements. So for that we are going to use for each method. For each method syntax is ul dot top each. Here I am giving the lambda expression. For that I am giving system dot out dot println of I. Let's save this and run it. See, by using for each method, we get traversing parallel statements. Here I am giving a lambda expression. Here I am giving a lambda expression. Okay. For each method is let's see, let's see open for each method. See here for each method in array list with overriding. Okay. For each method. Here this for each method is located open declaration. Okay. This for each method is implemented in iterable interface. And this for each method is overriding the array list class. So our default methods, let's see here. And override the here our default methods also we can override on our interface implement process. But starting methods we cannot override in our interface implementer process. So let's see example. I am overriding one method. Yeah, let's override our default method default providing. Here you need to override outside of the main method. I'm going to override here our void and one method. Is a default method environment. Yeah, I am overriding here in all this and here I'm calling our default our overrated unknown method. Here you need to here this is instance method. For calling instance method, you need to create object for our class. Here our class is default demo and I'm creating object reference variable and no default demo. After that I'm calling our inline method. Here run it and see overrated the default random. See here in interface default provided void and method There is a statement interface default and an input file. But I'm already with interface implementing class. After overriding and giving statement overridden the default element. Whenever we call that method, only override method will be called always. Understand? Only overridden method will be called. In our interface implemented class, we override default element method. So whenever we call that method, we only override default method will be called. You can listen. Yeah, let's go to another topic. Here we are seeing what is default method and what is static method. Let's see what is functional interface. Functional interface. Yeah, what is a functional interface? A interface that contains only one of that method. Then only it considers as functional interface. It contains only one of that name, number of default and static methods it does not import. Now we call it interface as functional interface. It contains only one of that method. So functional interface contains only one of that method. It contains only an abstract method. By representing functional interface, we are giving the annotation which is represented as the rate of functional interface in our program. Yeah, there are some very different functional interfaces out there. Three different functional interfaces are runnable. It contains only run method, uncallable. It contains only call method. These two are functional interfaces because it contains only one abstract method. Let's see. I'm opening my prompt. Here I am typing it. Here I'm checking is my system contains Java. Here see my system contains Java also. So I'm simply checking. Here I'm simply checking runnable interface is a functional interface as an app. So I'm for that I'm typing the command called Java P. Here P is a propeller. Java P, Java dot util dot runnable. We have here my system contains a program study. Let's check the ID for creating plus and giving functional demo. Here key interface are less extend implements from here here it is a functional interface. See here it giving Java development team given here is annotation functional interface, a data function. Yes, see clearly it have only one abstract method only. Sure, only one abstract method only. Okay, functional interfaces contains only one abstract method. It contains only one abstract method. Functional interfaces are mainly used for calling la- lambda expressions. For calling lambda expressions, we are always functional interfaces are always useful for calling lambda expressions. For calling lambda expressions from Java 8 onwards, there give some redefined functional interface like predicate and by predicate supplier initiate and by function function and by function. All these are functional interfaces which are used for calling lambda expressions. All these all these interfaces are present in java.util.function package. All these functional interfaces are used to call lambda expressions. Let's see these functional interfaces in next class or next lecture. I'm starting this. I'm starting this video because length constraints, video length constraints. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. For more videos, please like, share, and subscribe. Please, thank you.